Hello, everyone, and of course, welcome back to another episode of X Talking Is with your boy X.
Hey boy ish.
You already know what it is and what to do. If you are on Facebook, please make sure you like and share this broadcast. If you are on our Facebook page, please make sure you go ahead and like our Facebook page at X Talking Ish. If you are on Twitter and want to go ahead and check out this stream on Periscope, please go ahead and check us out on Twitter as well. We appreciate that. And again, if you are on YouTube, go ahead and hit us up on YouTube. Go ahead and press that subscribe button. And if you already know what to do, go ahead and hit us on the notification bell for shows in the future.
Ding.
Thank you very much for that very mellow thing. We appreciate that. We appreciate that a lot. Alrighty then. We appreciate that. Travis, he says we're a little late. Yes, we are. Yes, we are because we have some very special guests for y'all. We wanted to make sure we brought our guests in. We wanted to make sure we got them acquainted and make sure that they are ready to put on a great show for y'all tonight. Our homie from another, just another show. I was gonna say from another mother, but not just another show. Our brother KC
How's it
out
going,
there,
kids?
out there in Iowa. We appreciate you as always for for joining us at X Talking Ish.
Anytime, anytime.
At the moment as well, we are waiting on one more guest. We wait for him to join to jump in about another 5 or 10 minutes. But at the moment, we of course definitely appreciate KC for joining in with us, and we also appreciate people like Lee for making great jokes. It looks like a dad joke to all of us. It looks like a dad joke to me. I don't know about you guys. It looks definitely like a dad joke. 10 minutes late equals 10% discount on the hoodie. Ooh, if it is, then hey, y'all go
Gonna
ahead and
keep,
check out. What you say, Casey?
just gotta keep you guys on schedule.
Hey, it sounds like give the people what they want. That's what it sounds like. We're gonna get that to y'all. And of course, if you paid just a little bit of attention in the NFL in the last couple of days, we already know the big news that's going on. Of course, John Gruden resigns as Las Vegas Raiders head coach because of course, racist, misogynistic, and homophobic language in multiple work emails dating back to 2011 when he was an employee for ESPN. Now, as the Raiders head coach, it seems like the things you do in the past can catch up with you. And it doesn't seem like anybody's excusing John Gruden at all. But with all this is going on, I think we definitely need to have a conversation about everything that's going on. There are a lot of emotions. There's a lot of mad people going. There's a lot of mad people. There's a lot of emotions. There's a lot of anger. I understand, but when it comes to a logical side, that's why I want to get a roundtable of my guests today. Again, I have another person coming on in a couple more minutes to get you guys perspectives on this whole situation. Because at first, when news broke, it was only about uh, NFLPA executive director DeBoer Smith and pretty much his characteristics of his body. And at the time, majority of people said, of course, it was racist, but a lot of people that I've seen thought it was just going to go away, right? It was just going to go away. It was going to, issue an apology. It happened in the past. Let's keep it moving. But when I watched Monday Night Football last night, and I was watching Adam Scheffler tell everybody that there's going to be more coming out soon, and it's going to be damaging. That's when I knew, hey, I don't know exactly what's in these emails that they're talking about, but it's going to be a lot going on, right? And we, of course, seen. I mean, we've seen partial parts of what's been in some of these emails, right? And I'm going to wrap it up, and I'm just going to throw it to you guys so we can have this conversation. But overall, what are your thoughts on it? What do we do now, as in this situation, and also, I guess, as well, moving forward, how do we, get better from this situation? And I have some other host of questions that we'll throw out and we'll continue to talk. But KC, you are our guest. I want to hear what you have to say first.
I mean, as of sitting here doing this, we had what? We had 40 representatives of 40 Washington football team employees, past, present, future, whatever, come out tonight and say we're shocked that John Gruden's just eating this, which I think is what the league, under a truth serum, would tell you they want. They want him to take the fall for this and this to go away. That's not going to happen. The NFLPA is pushing to get all of these emails released. That's what they want. They want a a massive number of heads to roll. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think eventually you are going to see a lot more information come out than we have right now. And John Gruden's just the first of many to fall. We'll see, but I really feel like this is far from over.
Ish.
I like what you said there, Casey, about many more and a lot of heads rolling, because that's the thing. It's interesting to me that John Gruden decided to bite the bullet and be the guy to take the fall. I definitely think that this is a call from bigger players in order to try to get this swept under the rug as quickly as possible. Because there's one guy in particular that I don't know how this guy continues to walk away scot-free. I don't know how this guy continues to do what he does, to have the type of stories come out, and yet nothing ever happens to him. He's still alive and kicking. He's still an owner in the league, and it's none other than Mr. Dan Snyder.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Mr. Dan Snyder. I mean,
Yeah.
I knew he was going with that.
these emails that are coming out, they speak to a culture that has been going on for a long time in that Washington football team organization. It does not really just speak to John Gruden. So the fact that John Gruden took the fall and just quickly, came out and resigned in order for this to kind of the hope that this goes away. To me, it speaks to a bigger play at hand. Somebody made a call saying, "Hey, we got to get this guy. Like, he's got to take the fall for us, so we can get this out of the news as quickly as possible." Because Dan Snyder somehow it appears that he's walking away scot-free again. Like, this guy, is he going to continue to own this team? Is he are we going to have anything happen to him?
The problem is, and it sounds as just terrible ultimately, is the NFL owners. It's just a good old boys club. Like, it's all these guys protect each other because guess what? I had literally had this conversation on my podcast this week. We went in depth on this, which I guess maybe three straight white guys sitting in Iowa. Maybe we should have got a little diversity to talk about this, but it's to have these things said. And then to go back and look at everything that's happened in Washington, the scandal with the cruises, the cheerleaders, that people don't care about that shit. That's the problem. Like, it takes getting to a certain level, I guess. Like you said, if this had just cut off and ended on Saturday, I don't know that anything would have happened. I think this would have gone away. The league would have probably done nothing. The league is great at sitting on their hands and doing nothing and hoping that the court of public opinion takes care of this, or that teams take care of this. We talked about Kareem Hunt. The league wasn't quick to jump on that. The Chiefs were the team that jumped on it and said, "No, you're just done." The league has been terrible about this on so many things, not just this, but every opportunity they've been given to sort of tackle any kind of issue. I never trust that they're going to take care of things. The fact that this works out within the Raiders organization kind of blows my mind. I think there was just enough blowback that they understood they had to do it. I would love to see the financials on this, to be completely honest with you. I'm willing to bet there's a golden parachute back there for John Gruden somewhere.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Otherwise, he was just going to sit down and make them fire him and make them pay out that contract.
Yep, exactly.
Let it go through court. He's never coming back.
And that's something, not to stop you in what you're saying, but
good.
That's something that a lot of people brought up as well, too, is how do you get an opportunity to resign instead of being either fired or maybe let go by the NFL. But again, what it really comes down to, like you said, Casey, is the money part. It really comes down to the money aspect of everything on what the Raiders wanted to do when it comes to how he got let go. I'm pretty sure. I agree with you, Casey. They pressured him into resigning, so that's how I feel in that way.
Basics of a contract. If you get fired, they're going to have to pay you out. That's how it works. So the fact that they let him resign kind of reeks to me of there's something in the back room they're paying him to go away. He's not getting the full 10 years, $100 million that he was signed to, but he's not walking away with nothing. That's for sure.
All right, let's get to the comment section right quick. I want to hear what everybody else has to say. Fracture Walnut on YouTube, he says, "What's good, boys? Love the work y'all do on the cast. We appreciate that. As always," Lee says, "Is this a type of major incident that causes a chain reaction? Possible emails, texts, etc. start coming out from other people who have done anything of this nature?" Fracture Walnut also says, "I feel like if they go digging for bad stuff and going to leave a bad mark on the league because it's been going on since the NFL has began." Lee also says, "I mean, it's off topic, but for myself, you could go back 10 to 15 years and probably find some things on social media, for an example, that wouldn't be quote unquote accepted in today's society. I don't know. This might be the spark to a wildfire." Steve says, "Money runs shit everywhere. Plain and simple." That's 100% true. I agree with you as well on that. He also says everybody has a past, especially if you go, if you look close enough. 100. I 100% agree on that one. Fracture Walnut also says this decision came quicker than the no decision on Deshaun Watson. There's two.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of apples to oranges, right? I mean, that's I think that's touchy. I don't want to compare those at all.
Tell me if the Texans had Deshaun Watson as an active member on their roster this weekend, the league wouldn't do something.
Oh well, that's the thing, right? So everyone
they're not going to have their hand forced, so they're sitting on their hands.
Yeah, everyone.
They don't have to do anything, so they're not going
that they're sitting that man for a reason. He's not on the active roster for a reason, because they have this deal pretty much with the NFL that as long as he's not on the active roster, then they're not going to force their hand. The same thing, I mean, and you can even look at the NFLPA and the fact that the NFLPA is not saying anything about Deshaun Watson constantly being a healthy scratch, because everybody understands the agreement, right? Like, all right, we'll let the team take the fall and, sit him every week in order to not have the NFL make a call and look bad, right or wrong, because let's say that all these cases get dropped or whatever, then if the NFL had come out and put him on the commissioner exempt list or suspended him, now the NFL looks like they jumped the gun and they punished a guy that was innocent. If they don't punish him and they let him play, and then it comes out he's guilty in all these cases, now the NFL's being too lenient again, and they didn't do what was supposed to be right. So, of course, there's an agreement here, and I think it's the same situation with John Gruden, as far as the NFL is always going to make sure that these organizations do what's best for the shield. Everybody knows that you don't make a decision that's best for your organization. You make a decision based on what's best for the shield. And what happened in Las Vegas definitely was a decision made on what was best for the shield. The best thing for the shield was John Gruden to step out in front of this as quickly as possible, take the fall, move on, get paid money behind closed doors, and that's it. Because if it continued, or if he stayed there, you're only asking for more people to call for the emails to be released. Like, I actually think that even though there are people calling for the emails to be released, it's not as much as you would have if he was still actively the coach.
Yeah, a lot of people feel like this was a win.
Let me go ahead and bring in that man. That man, I do apologize, that man, for keeping you on the sideline for a little bit, but I had to, of course, bring you in to talk about this topic because you are, you're not an officials Raider fan, but you kind of official Raider fan. You of course, you're in the Bay Area, and of course, they used to be in Oakland before they moved to Las Vegas. So let me hear what you have to say with this whole situation with John Gruden, and what's the pulse out there in California, and how they feel with John Gruden in the situation with the emails.
Well, first of all, most people are like, of course, let's bag the guy, but honestly, I just felt like, not that his comments were right or wrong. I'm not going to get into that. I feel like they were wrong, but I'm just wondering why they came out so late. That's kind of what I'm wondering.
Well, and I think that's something that we all can talk about as well, right quick. And that's something that I'm trying to figure out as well. We talk about this in the group chat is, at the time he worked at ESPN, Monday Night Football, he did this on work emails. We all work in the public sector. We all know that when you write certain things on a on anything work personal related, you that's something that would you say on work related things you wouldn't say on your personal phone, right? We can all agree on that. Yes or
Yeah,
no?
for sure.
Okay. So
For
with that
sure.
being said, it seemed like again with John Gruden at the time working at ESPN, it's like he didn't give a damn. It seemed like he just he felt like not about even getting away with it, just that he felt like nothing would ever come back to bite him in the butt, right? And he felt like this paper trail would never come back. And it's just interesting to me how ESPN they're something needs to happen to them too. Because again, he was an employee at the time where all this is coming out. Yes, the Raiders are going to take the fall for it right now, but at the end of the day, I don't understand how you can get fired from your organization that you're working at now for something that you did 10 to 15 years ago. Something like Lee was talking about when it comes to, hey, everybody, all four of us probably has some things on our social media where we go back and say, you know what, that wasn't right. But
Oh, for sure. The only part that I'll disagree with you with is I don't know that ESPN had a reason to go through old things. Like that's where we're at. Like they had no reason to go through and look at old stuff or to dig into John Gruden's information or his emails or everything. The reason this came up is because they're investigating the Washington professional football, like, quote unquote professional football team, and they found these doing that because these were correspondences with a terrible organization, like with a terrible owner and a terrible whole thing. That's where these came up and how these were found. I don't know. I'm more likely to cut ESPN a little slack on this because I don't know that they were given a reason. I don't know that there's someone behind the scenes at all of our jobs going through all of our emails and our IMs or our whatever all the time. That seems like a never-ending task. I will say that there are probably people that were copied on these emails or saw these emails that never said anything. That's a fucking problem. That's a big problem. Y'all need to see something, say something. That's where we're at.
The topless photos that were in some of the emails.
Like Christine saying, and this definitely does make a lot of sense. We appreciate your insight, Christine. She says it was his personal email to the Washington football team president's work email. It was found now because they are doing the investigation on the Washington football team currently, and it wasn't 10 to 15 years ago. It was 7 years worked until 2018. Yeah, it was a span. It was it was span. It started in 2011.
Very questionable things that were said as recently as 2019.
And that's what really hurt him too, if you ask me. The fact that he had recent emails, versus the 2011-ish type of stuff. You know what I mean? So that really hurt him in the back end, So the fact that it was so recent, but I'm definitely agree with you, X, because for God's sakes, we could get deep here and say, okay, the president of the United States right now once said he didn't want his kids going to school with whatever he said, and that's on paper. He still made it to be the president of the United States, right? So
people have their say. People have their say on the vice president as well too, and the things she did when she was a DA in California. So I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot, and it is messed up to try to hold someone's past against them, especially when you are trying to be a better person. If you are trying to, do what's right and this, that, and the third, it is hard to hold certain things. But we're all in agreement. Stuff
ain't changing.
You're 100% correct. There are some old people there that this is what I'm saying.
Stuck in his ways is a phrase that you'll hear a lot.
There are people that are stuck in their ways to where once they're 50, 60 years old, they ain't changing and they ain't going to change. So it's just one of those things where we respect it. It is what it is. You lived along life to where you probably don't want to change, and I got it, but. It seems like, of course, this world that we're living in is moving forward in whatever way that they want to, and us as free people, we got to figure out a way how to go about it. So,
can I ask you guys a question real quick?
Of course,
because I've seen it come up a handful of times, and is the only argument that I kind of bend a little bit for a second. Is the NFL having someone like Eminem doing their halftime show? Is that problematic compared to these emails?
Because of his past or because of his music?
I mean,
is that what you're asking?
I'm just saying, if we're just looking at words, we're looking at things said.
I mean, we're
never canceling him or anything like that. And
that's the hypocrisy type of industry that we're in of everything that we do. if you look at one thing, it's like 6 other things on this side that we missed out. I 100% agree with you, Casey. It seems like no matter what we do to try to move forward, no matter if it's an organization, the people, whatever it is, it seems like it's still something pulling back to say, hey, well, what about this? And I 100% agree with you on the Eminem situation.
Like, it just seemed weird to me. I mean, obviously no one would have foreseen or whatever, but I mean, maybe they would have. Who knows how much advance warning the league and these teams have had on what's gonna fall. But I don't know. Like, I listened to them albums a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, I remember
when you compare
I remember being 10 years old listening to it. So, hey, all right, let's go ahead and check out this last comment for this topic. Napoleon says, "Doesn't make it right. Means it should have been dealt with sooner. Of course, you can't really deal with things if you don't know about it, but I respect it.
Absolutely. Yep. And if it would have been dealt with, he still would have got the Raiders job, and everything would have been okay by now. So that's all.
And I will say this to finish this all up too. Let's remember who was once the head coach with the Washington football team. His brother.
Yeah.
John Gruden's brother, Jay Gruden. So
I imagine that's the reason that there was such close correspondence.
Oh, of course. Yeah. So it's just all right. Let's go ahead and get into the game everybody saw last night. If you stayed up, because we didn't have to worry about a weather delay on Sunday Night Football like we did on Monday Night Football. We're getting into that as well. Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, hey, he did his MVP like thing, and if you're somebody that feels like he's still a running back, let's just be real. Last night kind of put that to rest. And if you are somebody that want to call him a running back, you might be a hater at the moment. And after week 5, the simple question for everyone, is Lamar Jackson MVP front runner? And if he's not, then who is? Dooley, we'll go ahead and start off with you.
Absolutely, my man. I appreciate that. We all know who my favorite player is of all time. It's Michael Vick, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know. So how can I not like a man like Lamar Jackson, okay, who's maybe even Vic 2.0? But I'm here to tell you he's not the NFL's MVP just yet. And I don't care what happened last night. Lamar has to throw the football in the playoffs for me. Okay, I don't care about the season, you know. So did Lamar against the team last night? Absolutely. Do I want to see him go for 442? Can I see 400 yards out of Lamar consistently in the playoffs? 350 maybe, 325 consistently. I'm just saying. So until we see that, then I'm going to be convinced that Lamar is passing. But I'm still not convinced it is passing just yet. Is he the MVP front runner? No, because the Ravens, how many losses do the Ravens have? Don't they have a loss or two on their belt?
Just one. Just
one? Okay. But they have played pretty much a few close games, you know? And no, because I don't have the Ravens. If you ask me, the NFL MVP is Josh Allen. That's just me, personally.
That's what I'm asking. I'm asking you, baby.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You know,
all right.
So, yes, I'm going to have to say no on Lamar for right now. We can have this conversation a few weeks later.
Of course. We'll be back to it. Especially during the halfway mark. We'll have a first half season show in about 3 weeks during week 9 of the season. Of course, we have 18 weeks this season now. Lee says definitely between Brady, Lamar, Kyler, Josh Allen, no order, but he isn't number 1 yet. Steve says 506 last night, 405 in his last game. I think that Steve I think that was I think that's total yardage. He had passing yards. He had 442 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. Fracture Walnut also says, with all the injuries to the offense and defense, and they're still in a great spot. Steve also says Allen is on another level for show, and also Fracture Walnut says he is the front runner for show. All right, KC, go ahead and take it.
Sorry, I cut out there. Are you talking to me?
You're good. Yeah, Casey. You go ahead and let us know either Lamar for MVP or someone else.
No, here's the thing. You say front runner, and my mind immediately goes to the guy who does way too much sports gambling to the odds, and he's not even in the top 6. He could be. He can get there. It's early. We're far too early, but now's the time to make money. I would agree. Josh Allen right now, number 1 guy. Vegas agrees. Some other names we brought up. Kyler Murray's there. Tom Brady, he's thrown a lot of touchdowns. We'll see if that can continue, but man is on a tear. My man Justin Herbert, I hate to love him and I love to hate him, but he's looking really good. That team is on fire. Dak Prescott is back there hanging out. Even someone like Matthew Stafford. I'd take all these guys over Lamar right now as NFL MVP. He's right there though at the end of that list. We'll see. I need him to do something more than beat up on the Colts. Like I get that game was a close game. It was fun. It was great to watch. This Colts team's got one win, man. I'm not buying you beating a 1-win team, even though their defense played well in the first half. I need you to go out and beat a good defense, and he'll get opportunities. That's for sure. If he does it and they win that division, cool. I would endorse it. But right now, Josh Allen's the class of the NFL, and that's what's going to happen.
Steve said Chargers versus Ravens going to be lit Sunday.
100%. That is potentially game of the week.
All right, Ish, let's go ahead and hear what you got to say.
No, everything that Dooley and KC have said so far, that's exactly what I think. He's not the front runner. There are plenty of guys that are in front of him. I would even go as far as saying some of the situations that he's put himself and his team in order to have these dramatic endings, it hurts him. It actually hurts him. I mean, you look at somebody like a Josh Allen who has played really well and has only done wonderful things for his team. Justin Herbert, same situation, has only done great things for his team. Kyler Murray has only done great things for his team. Lamar has kind of put his team in situations that he has had to claw out of. To me, that doesn't say he's the MVP. I mean, yes, it speaks to him having a winning pedigree, having maybe taking a step over the hill, and starting to get into a situation where we start to consider him more when it comes playoff time. We're not talking about the questions of whether or not he can throw the ball, those sorts of things. But I just think that these other guys have been putting their teams in situations that make them the front runners for the MVP. He's not even in my top 5. He's not in the top 5 at all. I think that he's still got a ways to go. He's got time. The good thing for him is he has time. He's got a lot of teams left to play that are going to help build his resume to be the MVP. So me saying he's not in the top 5 right now isn't like a knock on him. It's just saying like, hey, I need to see it consistently and I need to see it against better opponents. That's all it is.
Now, the reason why I posed this question is because last week, if you checked out X Talking Ish, we asked, was Kyler Murray the MVP front runner at the moment, or MVP, after week 5, and I'm sorry, week 4, I should say, and we all pretty much came to the consensus that it was Kyler Murray. After this week, it looks like Casey's not agreeing, but after this week, I definitely wanted to shoot Lamar up there to number 1, especially what he did on Monday Night Football, but after getting away from the Raven flock fan base and listening to some of my logical friends' mindsets, I'm going to have to agree with y'all when it comes to, look, I respect everything Lamar did in this game when it comes to completion percentage, 37 for 43, 42 yards, 4 touchdowns. Most of that, of course, in the second half, 4 touchdowns, second half, 300-plus yards passing in the second half. Great way to come back. And again, if you checked out X Talking Ish, you would know that I actually picked the Colts to win this game. I thought the Colts were going to win this game. The way that they played the first half and in that third quarter, it looked like the Colts were going to win it. But shout out to Lamar Jackson for getting them out of that hole, even though he did put them in there with fumbles. But one thing I will say, and I will respect Baltimore as an organization tremendously, is when they knew that they were going after Lamar Jackson, they knew that they were going to have to revamp their whole offense to make sure that they are able to maximize Lamar's skill set, right? And that's what they've been able to do. And with this season, with the way that it started off with losing 3 of the top running backs, right, and then pretty much a 4th one, and Lamar pretty much doing everything, I have to throw him up there at least in the top 3, if not top 2, yes, because of everything that he's doing with everybody out. Because if they had a healthy squad, they still would be probably 4-1, maybe even 5-0. Because let's remember, they lost in overtime Monday Night Football against the Las Vegas Raiders, and it might not even be Lamar in the MVP. It would just be, this is a good Baltimore team, right? That's how I see it. So that's why I'm saying, like, you have to put a little respect. And this comes from a Titans fan. Y'all always think we hate Ravens, and this is just the respect that I see when it comes to what he's able to do. I agree with everybody saying we have to see, of course, the consistency, throwing the ball down the field. But in this game, Monday Night Football, what he did second half, respect to you, Monday Night Football. Now let's see if you can continue to do it, especially in the postseason, and take your team to a Super Bowl, because you are now an elite status quarterback, the Patrick Mahomes, the Lamar Jacksons, I'm talking about I'm talking about where we rank y'all when it comes to what we expect y'all to have greatness wise in the regular season and postseason. That's, you can make those faces. I'm not putting them up there. I'm just saying when it comes to Lamar, I don't care about what you do in the regular season anymore. It's postseason and bust for me. That's how I look at Lamar. Anybody else?
He's definitely a top 10 quarterback. Let's just get that out the way right now. He's definitely top 10
for sure.
Whether or not you got him at the top of the list or the bottom of the list, that's up to you. You know what I mean? But I definitely, going back to what you said, yes, kudos to him. Hell of a game. It was impressive. I will say that. I definitely will.
I ain't gonna take away what he did last night. I ain't gonna take away what he did last night, because you can't, because that was a hell of a performance. That's a Superman-like type of shit, and
that's what you got to do.
100. But I will say I was riding off the emotion. I was riding off of the high of it was being a good ass game, and now I'm coming back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
You see that? I like that. I know you like that. That's a dad joke for your ass. But anyways, well, yeah. But anyways, with that being said,
hold on. Before we change the topic, I really want to give I want to give an apology and a shout out to somebody who deserves it. When we talk about Lamar Jackson and we talk about his development and we talk about the cast around him and who's injured and all of that, we need to maybe, just maybe, give a little respect to Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Brown is now 8th in yards for receiving. He's tied for second for the most touchdowns in the league with 5 touchdowns so far. I mean, this guy, as much as we came on during the offseason last year, we tore him apart. We said the Ravens need a number one. They need a number one. They don't have
went to go get Sammy Watkins.
He has only come through and stepped up in the big moments in games for them.
I'm going to beat Steve to it because I know he's going to say it. They are this week, maybe a week away from getting a first round pick right there, coming in at the wide receiver position. Having Bateman come back could be a real game changer for the team.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see, but I need to see more of it. I agree with what was said. We need to see it happen. Beating the Colts up on a Monday Night Football game isn't enough to elevate him for me. But yeah, I mean, he's still a top, whatever quarterback. I'd have him probably higher than 10. I get that that's just sort of cutting out the noise, but
all right, let's go ahead and move on. Fracture Walnut also says Dak has comeback player of the year on lock, but not MVP. Respect that. Again, long season. Long season. We got to see what happens. He also says, I don't know about Allen. He has only beat one playoff team this year so far and lost to the Steelers. Hey, that's week one. I'm not gonna look. Every team in the NFL has one of those games. I'm not going to.
It is the weirdest game of the year so far, I think.
Exactly.
That game to me is the weirdest one of the season.
And speaking of the Bills, that leads me right into the next topic. We appreciate that, Fracture Walnut. Are the Bills the best team in the AFC? We do, of course, have some Kansas City Chiefs fans on here, and we do apologize for putting more salt in the wound. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just, of course, talking about the Sunday Night Football game, and we'll go ahead and take it this way. There we go. We'll go that way-ish. How'd you feel about what you saw Sunday Night Football? And also, how do you feel about the Bills overall as a team? Do you feel like they are number one, or is there another team in the AFC?
I think as of right now, the Bills are the number one team in the AFC. I think it's a two-team race at the moment with the Bills and the Chargers. I think that they are the best of the class, and then you got a group of teams that are trying to figure out. They're competitive, but they're still trying to figure things out, right? Like in Cleveland, I put them in that boat. They gave the Chargers a really good game. I think that they're just a step below those two teams, but they are definitely up there in that conversation. I I just think that the Bills have shown the most complete team build and makeup. They've also been very healthy, which is fortunate for them. Can they continue to have that? Can the run game continue to kind of offer some spells? Josh Allen has done a lot with his legs to help that run game out. Those two running backs they're kind of still trying to figure out what's going on there between the two of them. But to me, yeah, they're just the most complete team at the moment. They're playing the best at the moment. And then I put the Chargers up there with them. I think it's really close with the Chargers, and I think that the Chargers definitely could give them a run for their money. But for the time being, I mean, they look like it. They look the part, man. They look the part.
Casey, what you got?
I don't disagree with anything Ish said. I mean, I bet the Bills at the open of the season to have the best record in football. That part of that is their schedule. They got your Titans coming up this week. The toughest game left on their schedule will be the Buccaneers. This is the number one seed in the AFC. It's not close. I think that the Chargers could find themselves losing. Kansas City comes out on a Thursday night. Historically, we don't play well on the road against a division opponent, but on a Thursday night. But who knows? You know, they might be motivated. I hope this team finds their way to be motivated. But if you want the full meltdown on me, like really starting to be concerned with this Chiefs team, just another football show episode will be up tomorrow. I'm really concerned, but I agree with what Ish said. It's the Bills and then it's the Chargers. Like those are the two right now for me. I think this Chargers team is really good. I've been banging this team's drum for a couple of years. They just haven't been able to stay healthy. As of right now, they are. They have. I mean, I understand we're only a few weeks in, but they've seemingly been able to kick that thing where they lose those one-score games. Like that's what they've done in the past 4 years. One-score games, they lose them all. All the guys get hurt, and then they end up with 4 wins. That's not helping. Appreciate you, Steve. But I think that's where we're at with these two teams. Can someone sneak up and dethrone them? Yeah, sure. I mean, would I be super surprised if Henry runs all over that defense and looks good on Monday? No, not really. I was the guy that really didn't believe in this defense. I had a really good friend of the show on last week, Bills fan. Had some fun talking to him. I gave him a lot of crap about this Bills defense because who had they done it against? They didn't shut down. They shut down the Texans. Cool. You beat a lot of really bad teams.
Yep.
Yeah, I gotta stop disrespecting Davis.
Guess what?
Okay.
I don't think we do. I mean, give me Tyrod back, and we'll maybe.
And then we might.
I respect.
They might win a couple games that you don't think they're going to. But right now, cool. You shut out the Texans, and I don't remember who else they shut out. The Dolphins, maybe they shut out.
The Dolphins were, I think, 10.
Something. They shut someone else out, but it wasn't a good team, and I wasn't impressed. But
they shut out the Dolphins.
By the end of the night on Sunday, I believed in this defense a little bit more. So, yeah, for me, it's the Bills and then the Chargers. But, man, I'd like to see that game. That's for sure.
I mean, to put an O for a goose egg on the divisional opponent, I mean, to have 2 games out of 5 so far to be, that's not bad.
Good teams beat bad teams by a lot. And that's what they did in those games.
I agree.
So, sure. We'll see. It's a long season ahead. But right now, they're the number one. They're the team. They're the team to beat.
Dooley, what's your thoughts?
Oh, my good man. I had the Buffalo Bills weeks ago, okay? I spoke to my boys on my show, X and Ish, asking them how real these Bills were after goose egg, okay? 2 out of 5 goose eggs, that's more than impressive. For God's sakes, it's been seasons where no team even got goose egg at all the whole year. So for this team to have 2 out of 5 of their wins be goose eggs is highly impressive. Not to mention, they've been to the playoffs more consistently. They're the one team in the AFC that I know for sure is getting to the AFC Championship. Who they're going to square off with, I don't know. Okay? But
it's a lock. It's a lock.
Oh, yeah. No. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm a lot, baby. I'm telling you guys right now, they're going to the AFC Championship
Now, are they
at least.
going to host? Or are they going to be the visiting team?
They better host with that trash division they're in. They better be the host, because
He ain't
and
wrong.
I'm going to be honest. Am I sold that they can go on the road and win in the playoffs? I'd rather they be home.
It is very tough
That's
to
a
play
big
in
advantage.
Buffalo.
That
It's
is
very
a
tough
big
to play in
advantage
Buffalo
to be in Buffalo.
mid-January. Yeah.
Exactly. Buffalo's a tough place to play in because let's say the script gets flipped and somehow they have to go to Baltimore to see Lamar. That's not going to be easy. If they have to go to Kansas City somehow, even though the Chiefs are playing like trash, but you never know, it's still too early.
Yep.
Let's just say the script flips and Buffalo ends up in Kansas City. I don't know about that. So Buffalo needs to hold down the number one seed and make it happen. As far as the Chargers go, I'll tell you one thing: that offense is moving on all cylinders. But I'm just not as sold on the Chargers as you guys yet, only because they haven't consistently been anywhere these last couple years. But the Bills have consistently been in the playoffs under the Josh Allen run. So I think this might be the year they take things to the next level and actually end up in the AFC Championship, if not the Super Bowl. And you know what? Even though I'm not a Bills fan, I'm pulling for the Bills because the Bills never make it. I'm a fan of football. I hope the Bills fans base, I hope they make it far. Good luck to the Buffalo Bills.
Can I just say real quick, to one of your points though that you made about the Chargers not being there or whatever. I've said for a long time. Last year I made a point. X knows that I made a huge point of lobbying for the Chargers, saying how good they were, how they should have won more games. They were in every single game. They lost a lot of games by one score. And sometimes a team has to learn how to win those games. They have to lose a lot of those games by one score in order to learn how to win those games. And I think this is what you're seeing this year from the Chargers. They lost a lot last year, and I think a lot of people didn't realize how good the team was. They also had a lot of injuries last year as well. So there are things that happened last year that kind of resulted in them having a record that didn't really represent what that team's talent was. And you saw them kind of work through that as a team. And now you're seeing the result of that. I think that this team, what people should be scared of is, yes, they don't have the record behind them as far as like that history of doing it in the recent years, but they have done enough as far as losing these close games and learning as a team that is a scary team to come up against because they're playing with no holds bar reckless abandon is what you're seeing. And the game that they won this past week against the Browns, the way they won that game, that is a team that everybody should stop and take notice now. If you didn't think they were real before, definitely pay attention because this is a team that may end up shocking some people. Even all this that we're talking about, the Bills being number one right now, I would not be surprised if they go into Buffalo for the AFC Championship game and take that game easily.
So you like them that much? Because I'm here to tell you, I still got, if anything, I got Lamar and the Ravens still over the Chargers, especially with all those injuries.
I don't know about all that.
Yeah, whatever. Hey, Lamar and the Ravens been consistently in the playoffs. Lamar and the Ravens have an.
If you look at that offense on the Chargers, if you look at that offense on the Chargers, it is mismatched city all throughout that line.
I hope we're not about to say Hubert's better than Lamar. We're not going to go there yet on Hubert. Are we?
Herbert, first of all.
Yeah, whatever his name is.
Second of all, when it comes to quarterback position, that's another story for another day. We'll talk about that another time. But
okay.
We've seen Herbert throw down the field more than a couple games.
I mean, and on the money too. But that's another story for another day.
Yes. He is good. Also, if Carson Wentz is going to go up 19 points, if the Chargers go up 19 points on the Ravens, they ain't never seeing it's not happening. The Colts gave that game up.
Oh yeah, 100.
If another team that's great on offense can go up 19 points, it's over. It's never coming back. So you can do it against a terrible team. You can do it against the Falcons. You can do it against the Colts, but
Hey, I was just with
collateral
you guys.
damage.
I was just with you guys on Lamar, but I'm not gonna call Hubert better than Lamar. Nah, I'm not gonna go there.
All right, well,
say,
all right.
Make that another episode.
Let me go ahead and wrap this up right
In a
quick.
few weeks.
When it comes to, of course, the Bills, I'll make it very short and sweet. Honestly, at this moment, yes, I do feel like the Bills are the best team in the AFC after Week 5. Yes, both sides of the ball, balling, and also not just that. I have to go off of what you guys said as well when it comes to the Bills right now have proved it over the last year and two when it comes to learning how to lose as well, too. And I'll get into the Chargers about that very shortly as well. But with the Bills, they've gone through their growing pains. They've gone through a year of Allen and Diggs. They look like they are heading in the right direction the way that they should be with a type of team that they are on both sides of the ball. I feel a lot more comfortable with the Bills right now than I do with the Chargers. But I do say this, though. I 100% agree on what Ish is coming from, especially when it comes to what the Chargers are doing on the offensive side of the ball. If you are watching these Chargers games, the new head coach, Brandon Staley, he is not scared. He's going for it on fourth down. He is making sure that they are going out there to win games and not because let's be real, we all grew up watching football in the 90s, 2000s, and 2010s, right? And majority of football coaches go out and play not to lose the game. And what do? You end up losing the game. And that's why Belichick, let's be real, that's why a lot of times Belichick has a lot of wins over a lot of these scaredy-ass coaches. But about time we have some of these young coaches with some nuts, like a McVay, like a Shanahan, like Mr. Staley out here on the West Coast. I don't know, maybe the West Coast is letting them ride free. I don't know what it is, but I respect these young coaches tremendously for taking the chances and say, you know what, I'm gonna roll this dice. I'd rather the ball be in my quarterback's hand than be in somebody else's hand. So for the Chargers, they are on the right track. We talked about the Chargers last year. Yes, they had all the injuries. It seemed like it was just Anthony Lynn. I think he's a great. I hate to say that. I really hate to say that. Yes, we like Anthony Lynn. We wanted him to be there, but it just seems like this team is playing a completely different way with this new coach at the helm, and it seems like it's working. And we'll see what happens. I wouldn't say it reminds me of Mark Jackson and Steve Kerr, but kind of, sort of, not really when it comes to the next phase of evolution of this player. Like, this could be Steph Curry with Mark Jackson, and then now with, that's all. But anywho,
it's not rolling the dice though. I know you hate to hear it, and it's the only reason I'm throwing it at you. It's analytics. So
you said it's what?
It's analytics.
Yeah. Good old math.
I saw you posting about it about baseball. So
yeah, it works for that sport.
Here's the thing.
It works for that sport.
Do what the other team doesn't want you to do. If the other team's defense is mad that you're going for it on fourth down because they're scared, that's when you should be going for it.
I respect. No, I 100% agree. I 100% agree. All right, let's go ahead and move on with. Let's go ahead and talk about the game of the week. Let's see what you gentlemen have for us. Let us know what game you felt like was the best game. It don't even have to be the most exciting game. It could be a game that surprised people out here. I'll go first right quick since, of course, I'll give people a little time to figure out what they want to pick for a game of the week. But for me, it's going to be very random, but I liked my decision because even though Ish and I picked this team to win the game, I think everybody that watched this game are probably more impressed with the team that lost compared to the team that won. And for me, that's the Packers versus the Bengals. The reason why I say this is because even though the Packers did win after missed field goal after missed field goal after missed field goal, Joey Burrow and the way that he's continued to play this season after coming off of his ACL tear just amazes me week in and week out. His connection with Chase, just the whole team as a whole, this young Bengals team, I'm very impressed, and I look at them the same way I look at the Chargers last year. Ish, I'll say it right now. After Week 5, I have the Bengals going to the playoffs next year in the AFC. They're going to the playoffs. I don't know what's going to happen offseason. I don't know how, but with Joey Burrow, you have a chance. And I respect Joey Burrow enough to know that, you know what? I'll ride with him. I'll put some money down for Joey B. So for me, I like this Packers-Bengals game because A-Rod did, of course, what he does. But Joey B, man, you got to give some big ups to him.
Yeah, we on the podcast call him Joey Covers because he
okay.
may not win games, but he covers the games.
Okay.
You say next year, there's a chance. There's 7 seeds, man. They might find their way. They might sneak their way in. Look at the AFC. It's not great.
It's wide open. Hey, it's wide open, but it's still early. Yeah, it's still early. But I'll say a lock next year. This year, like you said, maybe they can sneak in. Maybe they can sneak in like that 7th seed. But next year, I see them making the playoffs.
I would agree.
Christine says Chargers Browns for me.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Who wants to go first? I'll let y'all pick. Let me know who wants to go next.
Oh man, I might as well get it out the way. Right now we were just talking about this team. I got 2 Kansas City Chiefs fans right here, so I might as well drop a bomb. That whooping the Buffalo Bills gave the Kansas City Chiefs was much needed. It was almost like the little brother finally growing up and beating up the older brother. It was beautiful, if I might add. Okay, but what it really showed you is 1, the Buffalo Bills are real, and 2, the Chiefs are not just struggling on defense; they're struggling on both sides of the ball. Early in the season.
Here, I'm pile on here.
Oh, the defense. Well, that never stopped these guys before. They still scored 30, 40 points a game. Okay?
He's correct. Dooley's correct on that one. The offense has always carried the defense for the last 3 years.
The Chiefs defense made 3 stops after halftime. There's no reason that the offense plays the way that they haven't for the past 2 seasons that this game wasn't much closer than it is. This offense came out and shit the bed, wasn't able to do it. And I don't expect this defense. You would have told me coming out of that long halftime, delay that the Chiefs, the next 3 times that they have the ball, they're going to make some stops. I'd have been excited. Told you, cool, we're going to win this game.
If the
turning
Chiefs
the ball over, not getting it down the field. I don't know what the problem is, and I am worried. As a Chiefs fan, I'm super worried.
Yes.
But he's right. He's 100% right. I'm not arguing with him at all. I am worried.
I think there's a reason for that, but we can.
Yeah, the reason is the $500 million man.
No.
Can I say something? Hey, can I say something to that? And I was going to ask you, Chiefs fans, this right quick. Do y'all feel like as an offense, y'all playing a little too Showtime-ish? Do you feel like y'all doing like Patrick Mahomes doing a little too much? If everybody gets back to the basics on offense, do you feel like I can get back to 30 points a game? Which I think y'all can. Y'all have the offensive firepower, but do you feel like it's too many no-look passes, too many certain things that don't need to be going on in a game at that level?
Christine said it exactly, and that's how I feel. I think that it's pressing. I've been on a team before where the offense was the better side of the ball, and everyone knew the offense was the better side of the ball. And it causes a situation in every team. Anybody who's played on a team before, especially in football, where you got an offense and a defense, and one side of the ball is just way better than the other side of the ball. And that side, and one side of the ball carries the other side of the ball. You grow this complex within the team where you feel like, even though nobody's going to come out and say it, trust me, the offense is over there on the sideline when the defense is getting scored on and that Sorensen is getting beat deep every single play. The offense is over there on the sideline like, they're like, Tyrann Mathieu.
Tyrann Mathieu.
Like,
there's 4 screenshots of him from Sunday night.
I'm telling you right now, the offense is over there. Patrick Mahomes is over there. They are in a huddle saying, come on, we got to carry little brother up. Come on, we got to score. Guys, come on, we got to do it because they're not going to get a stop. Like, it is creating a situation where Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, they feel the pressure and they are out there pressing. They're not trying to drive it down the field. They're trying to hit the big play every single play.
And I agree on what you just said, Ish, and I agree 100% on what Lee and also what he's saying about Chris Collinsworth and Brees said. He said apparently at halftime, Chris Collinsworth and Drew Brees said, if the Chiefs throw intermediate 5 to 7 yard routes all game, it's wide open. Wear the defense down and be fundamentally sound. They get better. The better get it together. My apologies. And also, Travis Crowe says teams have the blueprint to them. They've been figured out. I don't
Here's
know
the thing.
just yet, but I
There
will
is
say,
no
but
blueprint for that
I'll
call.
say the Chiefs will beat themselves. I think the Chiefs are still in a position where the only team that beats the Chiefs is the Chiefs.
They beat themselves.
That's my opinion. But the reason why they're in this 2-3 hole at the moment is because of the Chiefs. That's really what it comes down to
and
me.
I would argue where you say they found the blueprint, it's not the blueprint. They adjusted to what the Chiefs do well. And instead of the Chiefs adjusting to what teams are showing them, they're still trying to do what they did against man coverage. Like they're still running Tyreek Hill down the seam and trying to run over too high. You got quarters or you got too high, and Tyreek Hill is still running the same routes he runs against man coverage. Like nobody has found them out. They just adjusted, and the Chiefs aren't adjusting. They are still trying to do the same thing, and it's costing them. Because you know why? They feel like we got to hit the home run so that we can keep the team in the game. And like everybody's pointed out, if you run the short intermediate routes, it's there all day long. Like the offense, I don't think, to me, I'm not concerned with the offense because I feel like Andy Reid knows, come on, guys, let's adjust.
They can flip that switch.
They can flip the switch.
Yeah,
I know they can flip the switch. It's the defense to me. What I'm watching with this defense, Sorensen, we need to figure something out with that. He needs to go. Like, sit him down, talk to him something.
There's a GoFundMe out there right now to buy out his contract.
You gotta. I mean, the defense to me right now, I don't have an answer. I know there are some people that have been missing. I know people are coming back. I know we're trying to gel, so on and so forth. But the effort is what it is for me. Like, when you watch it, it looks poor. It just looks bad.
Let's give you a little break. Let's get you some water right quick. KC, who do you have for game of the week? And if you want to finish up what Ish just said as well.
Like Ish was saying there at the end, I will say, I mean, the best or second, it depends on everyone's opinion, the best or second best player on the Chiefs defense did not play Sunday night, and Chris Jones. That's a problem. I really expected the run game to be pretty bad. Yeah, here we go. He's got it. That's the thing. I think it does change the game a little bit. But ultimately, I would agree. I always say defenses catch up with offenses. I've said that about Lamar for a while. Eventually, the defenses catch up. It's just what happens in the NFL. I want to say there's enough tape and things happen. But I'm a little worried. Go for it, Steve. I didn't say I donated to it. I was just pointing out that it's out there. To me, game of the week, it's a no-brainer. It's the best game that we had since Chiefs-Rams a couple years ago. It was that Browns-Chargers game, man. Like, how many touchdowns in the fourth quarter? No one wanted to lose that game. Unlike that Packers-Bengals game, no one wanted to win.
Nobody wanted to win.
This game, no one wanted to lose. They just kept going. We had that controversial, like, let him score, force him into the end zone play.
Yes.
You had everything in this game. I wouldn't mind hearing you guys' feedback on that. I love that play call.
Yeah, there were 6 touchdowns. There were 6 touchdowns total in that fourth quarter. Just to give
that's crazy for another. Like, if you bet the over, you were feeling really happy come the end of that. But I think this was the best one. I think that we could see this again in the playoffs. Yeah, that's the problem. Depends on where you were at, Steve. Yeah, we got the.
One thing I will say though, one thing about the Chargers
here in Iowa, that was a trash game.
I'm sorry about that. One thing about these Chargers, they will get a lot more primetime games moving forward next season. So if we won't be missing out Charger games a lot moving forward.
Week 11, we can start seeing Sunday Night Football doing some flexing too.
Oh yes, cannot wait for that. At all.
They can do a couple early. They're a little reluctant to do so. I think they should have flexed out of this week's game, but they didn't do it.
Lee says, is that a concern for those two defenses?
Absolutely.
Seeing how that game played out.
These were two defenses that we thought were going to be good. And they still are. I do think they're good. But come fourth quarter and just full firepower coming at everyone, 6 touchdowns scored, I just think everyone's gassed. Like, I'm not going to take that too seriously where that's also true. I don't want to buy into the fact that one quarter – for these two teams on defenses that are supposed to be really good is something to be concerned about. But Maybe. I don't know. I just think we're going to see this game again, and we're going to look forward to it, and it's going to be not as good. That's what's going to happen.
Quick question, Casey. Do you feel like it was just both quarterbacks were just hot? Do you feel like that was just a quarter where both of them, the Browns are our first team ever in NFL history to put up 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, no turnovers, and lose the game? I mean, that's unheard of in an NFL game, and I just feel like, it's easy to say, oh, the defense should have did that, but it just seemed like these two quarterbacks, both of them, Baker played a hell of a game, but seemed like the defense just didn't want to stop anybody, and it's unfortunate. But the defense is so bad, like you said, they carried the running back into the end zone to see if Baker make sure that he got the ball, so to try to make a game-winning touchdown drive. Ish, let's go ahead and hear what you have to say for a game of the week.
My game of the week was none other than the New England Patriots and the organization that's down in Houston. Why? Because that organization is still in the running for the number 1 pick. That had to be the
No, they're not. It's going to the Lions. It's going to the Lions.
Listen. They're still in the running for the number 1 pick. They may find a way to somehow get it because they choke everything away.
They're winning 5 games, damn it.
If Tyrod comes back,
he will. He will. The savior. He will come back.
He'll beat the Jags again.
They're handing the keys over to David Mills forever moving forward, because that's what this organization does down here. They just don't know how to actually play football. They were leading by 7 going into the fourth quarter, and then everybody saw what happened.
I knew they were going to lose this game. They were up, and I told my uncle, hey, they're going to lose this game. Watch.
Oh, man. It was great to watch. That was the game of the week for me.
You are childish. I appreciate for that being very short and sweet. That was beautiful. I respect that. And if you do watch the pregame show, I definitely did call that game and said that the Patriots would win by 3. So if you ever need me to go to Vegas with y'all, I'm here.
Yeah, I'm going in November. Come on out.
Woo-wee! It's my birthday.
Might have to make a guy's trip.
Come on out.
Sir. All right, let's go ahead and wrap it up tonight with, y'all already know what we do around here. It's the Slaying That Thing Award. And, of course, if you don't know, if it's your first time joining us on X Talking This, our Mr. Slaying That Thing is, of course, the quarterback that had a hell of a game and went out there to slaying that thing. Most likely today we'll probably have onesies and twosies that will probably be the same because, let's be real, there was some bad boys out there. But one of the guys on here that's panel, I'm pretty sure will surprise us. With that being said, let's go ahead and throw it to, we'll start off with KC, go to Dooley, and end up with Ish. Go ahead, KC.
You got to go Lamar, don't you?
Hey, so whatever you want.
All them yards, touchdowns, brought his team back. That's where it's at. He brought that team back. He willed the win, and those numbers don't lie for this week at least. I don't know if it's the thing going forward, but man, for this week, man, he's the guy.
All right, Dooley, who you got?
I think KC said everything that I was going to say myself. Ish.
It's a consensus. It has to be Lamar this week. I mean, what he was able to do, along with the circumstances and the situation that he also had and faced against, I mean, it's not a good team, but at the end of the day, you play who's in front of you. So, it has to be Lamar this week. Definitely my guy.
I'm not going to lie, gentlemen. I'm not going to agree with y'all. I am very surprised that y'all.
Don't say Tom Brady, because if you say Tom Brady, I'm getting off right now.
Of course, it's the GOAT. Of course, it's Justin Herbert.
Terrible game.
It's Justin Herbert. Oh, see what I did there? You'll see what I did there. It's the Billy Goat, the young goat, the one out in the West Coast. I got to give it to Mr. Justin Herbert. Reason why I made it more than anything is because if you do check out our X Talking Ish Fantasy Football League, I will take my L this week and say I am the dumbass on fantasy football that put Justin Herbert on the bench and started Matt Stafford because I assumed the way that we talked about with this Browns defense, I thought it was going to be more of a lower scoring game. Was not expecting for this game to get into the 40s. But one thing that I did see in this game is that, you know what? Never ever in my fantasy football life will Justin Herbert ever come off the starting lineup. That is it. That is all.
Don't start him on the bye week.
He's going to start on the bye week because he's going to score. He's going to score 2 touchdowns just on the bye week.
He may figure out a way to do it.
That's all I'm saying. That's how bad he is right now. He misses saying that thing. I respect y'all's missing saying that thing, but how y'all pick Lamar? How you? And I was just gonna thank you, Steve. Steve's a smart man. He listened to this whole show. He said it's just the Colts. They say, but hey, it's the NFL. I literally just saying the same thing. How you gonna talked down on Lamar just a couple seconds ago, and now he misses saying that thing. Come on now, you gotta keep
that
it.
thing is more so a weekly award.
You're correct. You're correct. You're correct. I respect it. I respect
gave it to him
it.
for a week.
Right. That's all.
Touche. I respect it. Alrighty then. Well, I appreciate my guest and also my brother Ish, as always, for being on for X Talking Ish. Before we get up out of here tonight, I definitely want to let my guests let y'all know where to find them. We'll start off with Datman. Datman, please let everyone know where to find
Datman Dooley everywhere. Just type me in on Google, baby, and I'm there. YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. Dooley does this. I do my weekly show myself on my Facebook page. I appreciate X and Ish for putting me on once again, baby.
KC, what you got?
Hey guys, you can find Just Another Football Show anywhere you're getting podcasts. New episode tomorrow. We're doing 2 a week. Recap. We just reformulated the recap episode. We're having a lot of fun. Make sure you're checking us out anywhere you can find a podcast. Twitter, Another FB Show. Facebook, we got a group. Come hang out. All the news gets posted there. People are having fun. Appreciate anyone that's finding this video stream through me. I know I share it's having fun. And hey, just because I'm here, it doesn't happen very often. By that, I mean, I don't know that it's ever happened. Let's go.
Uh-oh. Number two in the nation.
I'm going to take it while I can get it because it ain't going to last. Give me number 2. Iowa Hawkeyes. Let's go.
Now, of course, this is an NFL show, but before we get up out of here, KC, how long does the number 2 ranking last for you guys?
I could see they've won the hardest games left on the schedule. Penn State was the toughest game. We got Wisconsin coming in. That'll happen eventually. I knew he was going to say it. Big State fan. But they're going to lose in Ohio. They're going to lose to Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game. That's
All right. We shall see. We appreciate
I'll ride
you, Steve.
this thing till the wheels fall off.
As you should.
OHIO.
Lee also says, love KC as a guest. Definitely going to have to tune into his content. Yes, you do. He says he's also in Omaha, by the way. Maybe had to link up soon. I know X would be down one day. Oh, yeah, definitely. I definitely hope to see you guys very soon. I'm trying to get out there very soon to see all y'all as well. And we'll keep everybody posted.
Yes,
I've been there, done that. 2019 AFC Championship.
Where we met.
Thank you for reminding me. Every day of my life. Thank you. Alrighty then. With that being said, Tennessee Titans, do not let me down on Monday Night Football because I will not be on the show on Tuesday. With that being said,
you'll definitely be there.
Woo! With that being said, peace, love, and happiness. See y'all next